Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today, I'd like to talk about a topic that connects music and research, rhythmic complexity in funk drumming. Funk music stands out for its strong, groovy beats. Think of that steady backbeat on the 2 and 4 counts. That beat makes you want to move. Funk drumming is the heart of that groove. Rock drumming often leans into loud, straightforward beats. Jazz drumming focuses on improvisation. Funk drum rhythms are different. We don't know which tool works best. We need a tool that captures funk unique groove. That is why this research exists. Our research certain on rhythmic complexity in funk drumming. We don't just look at basic beat counts. We want to explore how many different beats drummers use in a single track, like the steady bass drum pulse and the sharp snare hits that define funk. We don't want tools that only fit jazz or rock. We need ones that match how funk drumming actually works. So we can get a full, accurate picture of its complexity. We have two main questions driving our work. First, what specific combines our rhythm elements such as ghost note, syncopation, and breakbeats contributes most significantly to the perception of complexity in funk drumming rhythm, and how do these combinations differ from those in other music genre like jazz or rock? Which makes research methodology are most effective in comprehensively capture both the structural complexity and the intangible groove feel of a funk drum rhythm. To what extent does the rhythmic complexity of classic funk drum patterns, those by influence the creative decision of modern music producers in general, like hip hop, new funk, or rhythm blues? And how can these influence be quantified or analyzed? This research matters for three big groups. For music researchers, it gives a clear path to study funk drumming complexity. No more guessing which methods to use. For funk musicians, it can help them understand the why behind great funk beats, so they can create or play better rhythms. For music education, teachers can use our finding to teach funk drumming more effectively, focusing on the parts that make rhythm complex. Most past research on rhythm complexity looks at jazz, classical, or pop music. Very little of it focuses only on funk drumming. The few studies that do exist use only the method, like just analyzing sheet music or just asking listener. There's no work that looks at multiple methods or hones in on funk drumming's unique traits. That's a gap we want to fill. Little review. Several main ideas come up in past studies. First, funk music is known for its tight, danceable grooves with heavy emphasis on syncopation and a strong backbeat that keep listener moving. It often features bold bass line, rhythmic guitar riff, and the dynamic drum work that ties the whole songs together. Drumming of jazz drums in funk musician. Improvisation. Okay, improvisation. Drumming of jazz drums in funk music. Improvisation part of rhythm patterns. Funk drummers often add small, spontaneous twists to core rhythm, like extra ghost note on the snare or subtle hi-hat shifts to keep the groove fresh without losing its tightness. This improvisation fit naturally within the song's structure, never overshadowing the main beat. Full-in improvisation. During full-in section, drummers use all parts of the kit, bass drum, snare, toms, hi-hats, to improvisation, energetic fills or layered rhythms, building intensity while staying locked into the song's overall grooves. This type of improvisation often happens during song climax to boost the excitement. 3. Stage of elevation. Early funk drummings, 1960s, 70s, focused on simple, hard-hitting backbeats. Later, 1980s to 90s, it added more complex ghost notes and electronic keyed elements. Today, it blends classic technicals with modern production style for fresh songs. Each stage reflects change in music technology and listener taste. Future evaluation directions. Funk drumming will mix more with general genre like hip hop, using sample breakbeats or new soul, softer, more melodic rhythms to create new hybrid grooves that appeal to a wider audience. This integration will keep funk's core feel while adding fresh layers. Aspect of performance technicals. Drummers may start using more electronic tools like trigger pads or loop pedal alongside traditional keys to expand their sound, while still honing classic skills like maintaining a tight pocket. This blend of old and new will let them create more dynamics, complex improvisation. Research methodology or preliminary work. For our early work, we use two methods. First, qualitative method, literature review, theory research. These methods include two key points. First is a literature review. We looked through past studies and papers on funk drumming and rhythm complexity. Literature review helps us map the current state of research on funk drumming and rhythm complexity. Second is theory research. We use existing music theory to guide our analysis of funk's unique rhythm traits. Theoretical research provides a framework to analyze funk drums rhythms. Both parts helps us build a solid foundation for the study. Case study and musicological analysis. We combine case study with musicological analysis for in-depth research. For the case study, we picked 15 classic funk songs. These songs are from famous artists like James Brown and Sly and the Family Stone, artists known for defining funk iconic sound. Case study is critical because it lets us focus on real iconic examples of funk drumming. Instead of abstract ideas, it also makes our finding more relatable. Instead of talking about funk drumming, in theory, we ground our work in music that listeners and musicians already know. Then, with musicological analysis, we broke down the drum rhythm of each song. We looked at details like ghost notes, beat patterns, and how different drum patterns work together. This step helps us see the specific features that make funk drum rhythms consist and of complexity. Without these methods, we might overlook the technical details that make funk drumming unique, and our conclusion would lack the rigor needed to contribute to music research. For example, we can count syncopated beats, track how bass drum and snare patterns lock together, or note changes in hi-hat dynamics. Details that are key to funk's complexity but hard to capture with casual listening. Description of a primary work: lecture review, theory, research, musicological analysis. The preliminary work clarified the research question through literature review. It was found that there are few studies on the rhythmic complexity of funk drumming, and the research methods are singular. Preliminary result: combining music theory, 15 classic tracks were selected, and case study and musicological analysis were adopted. Through the preliminary work, the study refined insights such as that complexity included structures and feel, and mixed methods, and needed laying a research foundation. However, data from multiple perspectives needs to be supplemented. Our preliminary work is solid and targeted. Qualitative methods, literature review, and theory research clarify research gaps and provided and analyze the framework, laying a firm base. Case study: 15 classic funk songs, grounded research in real music, while musicological analysis captured key technical details. Together, they ensure rigor and relevance for studying funk drum rhythm complexity. Three big takeaways from our early work. Funk drumming complexity isn't just about the structure, it's also about how the rhythm fills the groove. Two, using only one method like just analyze or just the surveys misses important parts of complexity. Any good research on funk drumming needs to mix subject analyze with the option of people who play funk. For our next step, we will use the methods such each with a clear rhythm. Musician interviews. We ask 20 professional funk drummers to rate how complex that they thought those rhythms were and why. For musician surveys, we made a short survey with questions like how complex is this rhythm and what makes it complex. What we sent it to funk drummers on music forums and in local bands, and 20 give details answers. Rationale: it fixed the gap from our preliminary work, analyzes, gives structures, interviews, let drums explain groove feel in detail. Using audio analyze software like a sonic visualizer, a relational rationale, it let us measure things we couldn't before, like how hard a drummer hits the drums, dynamic change, or how fast beats are played. These small details add to complexity. Listener pers- perspectives with a certain amount of people who like funk music. Rationale: it tells us each regular listener notice the same complex features as drummers. This helps us know if complexity matters or not to more than just the musicians. Implications of the full research. If we do this right, this research will define clear features of funk drumming complexity so everyone know what to look for. Create a toolkit of research methods for studying funk drumming. Other researchers can use it too. Link the science of rhythm to the art of funk, showing how technical features create the funk sounds people love. Potential impact in the wider world. For music producer, they can use our funding to make funk tracks with the right level of complexity, whether they want a simple groove or a more layered beat. For music historians, it helps preserve the unique parts of funk drumming, showing why it's such an important part of music history. For casual listeners, it lets them appreciate funk drumming more. They will hear the complex parts that make the music feel so good. To wrap up, studying rhythm complexity in funk drumming isn't just about research, it's about understanding what makes funk music great. Our preliminary work shows us that complexity is a mix of structure and feel. Our proposed methods will help us dig deeper. We believe this research will help researchers, musicians, and fans alike love and understand funk drumming even more. Q&A. Okay, thank you for your listening. Bye bye.